the relationship, the decision, the detail that is most pressing in your life right now, anything that is tangible, touchable, anything you can relate to with your five physical senses, you can see it or hear it or smell it, relate to it physically, that is not your real problem. Anything flesh and blood is not your real problem. And the enemy is so clever that he wants to disguise himself behind something physical and visible. Because then he knows if he can get us distracted and fighting with the thing we can see, we will not use the weapon that works on the things we can't see. So we stand firm, fully girded in the armor of God. We put on those things that enable us to be able to fight with the real enemy, who is invisible. He is not physical. So what he hopes is that because you can't see him, you will forget he's there. So he diverts your attention stage left. He tries to put the spotlight on that person or that issue or that ailment or that concern, because he knows as long as you're distracted, you will use all the wrong weapons against the wrong enemy. But God says to you, stop fighting. Stop fighting using the weapons of this world. Put on the full armor of God so that you can stand firm against the schemes of the enemy. Do not fear, and do not fight, not like that. The last thing he says is in their battle plan, he says, do not lose focus. The way he words this in verse 17 is, see the salvation of the Lord. Don't lose focus. Not here, not now. Right in the midst of the battle, even with the enemy breathing down your neck, even though circumstances have not yet changed, he's talking to Judah while they're still in the midst of the trouble, and while they're still trying to figure out the best way to go about this, and while they're in the midst of concern about how all this is going to turn out. Even in the midst of that, the prophet says, don't close your eyes, keep them open, and see. Watch this. Do not lose focus. All right. When we're in seasons of life that we don't prefer, I don't know about y'all, but I really do just want to go to sleep and tell somebody to wake me up when this is over. Can I get a witness? Just wake me up when this part. When things are a little difficult or I feel a little tired or exhausted, I'm like, you know what? Y'all deal with that, and then let me know when it's all taken care of. I'll be back. I remember when the boys were small, one time I had one of them in a Maya wrap right here, so I had a little baby wrap strapped on me. Then I had the other two like this. We were walking through the aisle at Target. We were at a Super Target, because you know the blessing of God is at Super Target. It's anointed. It's straight from the throne room of God. The whole Starbucks up front and the women's section is doing so well with the clothes and the shoes right now. It's a blessing from the Lord. You need to go bless yourselves. So what I'm saying is, I was walking down the aisle, they were little, and I was there for groceries. So I'm going down the grocery aisle, but my boys, it was one of those days where they were doing the most. You know, everybody's acting a little silly. One of them's throwing a temper tantrum. This one's crying. I can't control everybody. And then the two on the ends, they had the nerve as we're walking down the aisle to just hold out both of their arms to the side. They were just dragging down everything from the aisleways. So now I'm bent over with the baby, and I'm trying to put the cans back, and I'm telling him, put the can back, put the can back. We went down 2 or 3 aisles. Has that ever happened to you, where you take everybody somewhere, and then you realize the mistake that you have made? And a couple of these aisles, we ran into the same lady, like there was the same lady. She was a much older lady than I. She looked like a grandmother, sweet elderly type. And every time we would run into her and I'm doing all the things, she would just look at me and go. So I'd see her and she'd nod again and give me a little smile. And after I ran into her, maybe for the 3rd or 4th time, she just came over to me and she said, sweetheart, if you blink, you're gonna miss it. Like, this is such a sweet time. If you blink, it's going to go so fast. If you blink, you're going to miss it. And I remember thinking in my head, have you ever just wanted to blink away a whole season? Just, like, can we get through this day, this week, you just want to blink it away because it's exhausting or tiring or hard in a way that you were not anticipating. you're in that season, even as you look forward to whatever the next season may be, don't sleep through this. Keep your eyes open because God is here. He's doing something here. He's moving. And if you miss it, see, this is the thing, y'all. We get to the next season of our life, and sometimes it's not till we're in the next season that we look back on the previous one, and in hindsight, we realize there were so many good things there, and we wished we would have milked it a little bit more while we're there. So while you're in it, even as you look forward to the next thing, even as you look forward to your season changing, while you're in this season, go ahead and keep your eyes open. Don't lose focus. Keep your eyes peeled for the goodness of God, the grace of God, the mercy of God. That even while you're waiting on a big miracle, there are a bunch of little miracles that are showing up every single day, in every single way, as He is carrying you through this season of life. This is the same command that Moses gave to the children of Israel when they came up to the Red Sea. Exodus chapter 14, they came up to the Red Sea. They had no idea how they were going to cross the sea. The Egyptians are behind them. The Red Sea is in front of them. There are 2 million refugees trying to figure out how they can keep going and escape these captors that are behind them. The battle is raging all around them. And one of the things that Moses says to them is, "Be still. The Lord will fight for you while you keep quiet." And then he says, "See the salvation of the Lord." It wasn't just about seeing the big miracle. It was also about them seeing all the little miracles leading up to it. He wanted them to never forget what it looked like